I think there's some beautiful pieces here, some great artists here. I'm interested in getting to know everybody and speak to everybody. Race is basically playing off of the things it takes to make it out of these areas, you know. It's not easy to make it out of these areas. You've got to overcome a lot of obstacles. So as you can see with the yellow tape, it's kind of like instead of the finish line, it's police do not cross, where it's like it's hard to make it out. You have to really push to make it out.
I envision like years from now when people talk about what was going on during the early 2020s, besides looking at the politics, they're probably going to refer to the artists. Artists conceptualize and interpret the times that we live in, and they transfer that information onto canvas. So when people look back in the 2020s, I want them to ask, well, what was going on back in the 2020s? And maybe my paintings will be part of that discussion.
A lot of my artwork comes from a spiritual base of deep spirituality. With The Immortal Woman, it has to do with a lot of spiritual components and components of things that don't die. So we have like the root chakra being resembled by the neck, and then we have the butterfly being the spiritual reincarnation, and then we have the leaves and how the leaves kind of die and they come back. And then the fact that I made her with our eyes closed because I wanted to kind of embody and the idea of her just being peaceful.
I did this because it's always like the family road trip, and I love road trips. So I just remember growing up, it was like get up at 4 o'clock, we had to beat the traffic, and we always caught the traffic. So till this day, I love to do road trips. And so I went upstate New York to the caverns, and I love to explore waterfalls, so I do a lot of paintings of those.
This one is called Sanctuary. He's like shielding her, and I just wanted a positive depiction of the black family because there's so many negative that's out there right now. This one is called Jesus is Coming. It's based on, the slave ship. One of the first slave ships that was coming was named Jesus. So it was just a play with words. And the third one is actually about my daughter, the transformation from being a child to becoming a woman.
I really like drawing portraits, drawing and painting portraits of women, and specifically black women, and highlighting our natural hair and all its different forms. So that's my inspiration for these two pieces right here.
This piece, I did this about a while ago, and I actually called them the woods. Particularly, the woods is a scary place and everything. I'm not particularly too care about the woods, but I like drawing the woods. I love the trees, I love nature and everything.
I'm really inspired by the way people interact, and I'm also really inspired by religion and spirituality. So a lot of my paintings come from Bible stories, and some of them just come from my brain and my imagination. This particular piece was inspired by just the explosion of black creativity, and so I wanted to get that sort of portrayal not just through music but also through visual arts.
It's great to see all the different artists again. This is my second year doing this, and so it's wonderful to see that there's this interest, this enthusiasm that people have for this kind of art.